There's a state where your awareness sharpens, your presence deepens, and your energy speaks before you do. That state isn't a myth. It's the result of harnessed power, and semen retention is what unlocks it. Every time you retain, you hold on to more than just physical energy. You preserve your psychological edge, your hormonal fuel, and your primal signal to the world. In that state, you're not chasing attention, you command it. You're not looking for power, you radiate it. The nervous system calms, testosterone stabilizes, and your decisions begin to carry weight. You walk into rooms differently. You don't need validation, and that's what makes people listen. The mind becomes clean, the body becomes still, and your words start hitting harder. Not because you're louder, but because your energy is focused. Semen retention trains the brain to conserve dopamine, sharpen intention, and delay gratification. All traits that build real dominance. This isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself so completely that people sense it. Influence grows not from effort, but from stillness. Retention sharpens your instincts, calms your reactions, and grounds your presence in a way that's hard to ignore. Over time, you stop trying to prove anything. You simply are, powerful, grounded, and unforgettable. Section 1. Transmembrane potential. You don't need to speak to be felt. Some men enter a room and everyone adjusts. Their presence carries weight, not from noise, but from energy. This kind of silent authority starts at the cellular level. Inside, every one of your cells is a voltage, an electrical charge known as transmembrane potential. It powers how your brain fires, how your muscles move, how alert you feel. When your energy is low, your voltage weakens. Your movements become dull. Your thoughts scatter. But during semen retention, that internal voltage begins to climb. Your cells hold more charge, fire stronger signals, and produce sharper action. You move with force, even in stillness. This buildup begins in the sacral region, the body's biological power bank. Semen isn't just fluid, it's packed with metabolic gold, zinc, selenium, and ATP precursors, all essential for energy production. When retained, these compounds don't leave, they concentrate. That creates a dense reservoir of tension and power in your lower body, grounding your movements and charging your presence. You feel heavier, not in weight, but in substance. You become less reactive and more anchored. That tension builds the kind of stability others instinctively read as strength. Not jittery strength, but calm, focused, and fully embodied. This grounded energy produces more than just stability. It changes your electrochemical signature. Your body starts to hum at a different frequency. Breathing slows, your pulse steadies, your gaze no longer twitches, it locks. These changes are subtle, but primal. They signal to others that you're in control. Most people can't explain why they feel drawn to or intimidated by a man who retains, but their bodies know. It's biology speaking in low-frequency signals. You're not pushing your energy outward, you're pulling others in. That's influence at the nervous system level, beyond charm, beyond tactics. The result is kinetic energy that never leaks. Your system begins to run with brutal efficiency. Your reflexes sharpen. Your mind stops racing. That unused energy, now stored and circulating, becomes a background force that fuels everything. Speech, movement, attention. Retention increases action potential across neurons and muscles alike. Every thought you think and every motion you make is powered with more voltage. That means you say less and do more. You sit still, but radiate strength. You speak softly, but every word lands. You don't need to ask for respect. It's given automatically, without question. In this state, people treat you differently. They sense you're not easily shaken. They notice how your eyes don't dart, how your hands don't fidget, how your energy isn't seeking validation. It's all because your internal voltage is holding firm. Every part of your biology is working together, grounded in the sacral reserve, amplified by mineral-rich semen, charged through transmembrane potential. You don't need a strategy to influence. You just need presence. And presence is built, cell by cell, breath by breath, through the disciplined retention of energy that was never meant to be wasted. Section 2. Neural enforcement. Social structures are never random. There's a quiet order, a hierarchy that gets established before a single word is spoken, and your nervous system plays a major role in where you stand. When you retain, something powerful happens. The brain begins to wire itself for dominance. One of the key drivers behind this shift is vasopressin, a hormone known for increasing assertive behavior and boundary defense. With retention, vasopressin receptors in the hypothalamus and anterior cingulate cortex become more sensitive. These regions control how you perceive threat, space, and respect. You stop shrinking. You start claiming territory, not by force, but through presence. People sense it and step aside. Your mind becomes sharper, not just in reaction, but in strategy. The orbitofrontal cortex, responsible for status awareness, social judgment, and behavioral adaptability, lights up with greater efficiency during retention. You start noticing power dynamics without overthinking. You know when to speak, when to pause, when to lead. This isn't guesswork. It's instinct reinforced by structure. You begin to influence, not through chaos, but precision. People follow not because you demand it, but because you act like someone who knows exactly where he's going. In every room, your presence rises not by shouting louder, but by moving smarter. There's a reason others don't challenge you when you retain. It's not about muscles or intimidation. It's about emotional neutrality. Retention stabilizes your nervous system. Your emotions stop leaking out. Your gaze stays still. Your tone doesn't wobble. To others, this reads as calm authority. Most people avoid conflict when faced with that kind of centered energy. Their own nervous systems interpret your stillness as a higher threat, not one that lashes out, but one that can't be read. That's what makes it powerful. You don't need to be loud. Your silence speaks. And when it speaks, it says, "I cannot be moved." The brain begins to enforce this status automatically. Every social exchange, every conversation, every negotiation, you begin to calibrate your role without second guessing. You speak with purpose. You listen like it matters. And people start mirroring that energy. They adjust themselves to your rhythm. That's neural enforcement. You no longer climb social ladders. You build them under your feet. And others follow the one who's already walking with clarity. Your influence becomes effortless, not because you're trying to dominate, but because you've become impossible to ignore. All of this stems from one decision: to retain. That decision rewires your brain for leadership. The structure of your biology begins to demand respect without asking for it. Hormones fire with balance. Gaze becomes focused. Thoughts stay sharp. And social dynamics bend in your favor. You don't control people. You control yourself so deeply that they realign in response. That's what hierarchy recognizes. Not noise, not effort, but unshakable presence. Retention gives you that, without warning, without shouting, and without compromise. Section 3. Cadence control. Every word you say carries more than meaning. It carries rhythm. And rhythm, when controlled, shapes perception. One of the first things to change during retention is your cadence. Your speech slows, but becomes sharper. Verbal filler fades away. Your tone deepens. Pauses feel deliberate, not accidental. This isn't performance. It's a neurological shift. Retention calms the nervous system and improves pacing signals in the brain. That calm spreads into your voice. You start speaking with structure, not noise. And when your cadence holds steady, others lock into it without realizing. Your words begin to shape the room, not because of what you say, but how you say it. This effect runs even deeper. Beneath speech is energy. Emotions bounce between nervous systems through a process known as limbic resonance. Most people are reactive. They match the strongest emotional presence around them. Retention flips that dynamic. It anchors you emotionally. You stop absorbing energy and start projecting it. Your presence becomes calm, focused, and unshaken. And without needing to force anything, people sink to your state. They relax if you're calm. They listen when you speak. This is the root of real leadership, not being louder, but being more stable. The nervous systems around you start asking, where is he taking us? The result is energetic asymmetry. Your stillness creates imbalance, but not in a chaotic way. It draws people in. When you retain, your energy stops leaking. That grounded tension builds presence. People feel it. They start to orbit your stillness because it feels safe and powerful at the same time. Suddenly, without trying, you find yourself influencing the mood of the room, the direction of conversations, the pace of decisions. Not through control, but through consistency. Retention gives you control over your own rhythm, and that rhythm becomes the architecture others begin to build themselves around.